so much for tuning in to another episode of Rockn, Talkn solo interviews with myself, Kelly V, the Pop Pixie, and the amazing John Gallagher Raven of Raven. Stay tuned. This is an awesome one. So much, everybody. Thank you so much to rockmetaltalk.com as always, of course, and the RFL Records, Jonathan Machuca. Couldn't do it without you guys. Thanks so much. Driver Records and Sister Kiss Cycle. You are the other half to my projects here and all my events, and your never-ending patience and support is completely appreciated, always and forever. I'd really be unable to do any of my events or my shows without your help and support. So just wanted to say thank you so much, and I love you for it. So it's a combined effort between everybody to get these out to you, and I really hope you as a listener enjoy all our hard work. Thank you so much. I just want to also thank so much to Lips, my incredible co-host with Rockn, Talkn in our group interviews. So I hope everybody enjoys the interview. You spread, share, like, just grab your joint, grab your beer, grab your coffee, whatever it is you do. Just sit down and enjoy a great show, everybody. Thanks so much. Like I said, we're going to get right to that interview right now. Hello.
Are you there? Can you see me?
I can hear you, but not see you.
Let's see what's happening here.
There we go. Hi. How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Yeah, I heard you're in the UK right now, right?
Yeah, we're freezing our hint ends off. It's lovely and freezing and horrible. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. You never should have left Florida then.
Well, I've got that to come back to.
I know, right? So what are you doing over there? Something fun?
I'm playing nurse. My girlfriend had a toe joint replacement. So I've got my butler outfit on, and I'm waiting for the little bell.
How sweet, how sweet. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I hope she recovers as quickly as possible.
Yeah, it's going to take some time, but she's doing all right.
Yeah. So what's going on in the UK right now? How are things?
Well, it's on total lockdown. Shops are open, and that's pretty much it. Shops as far as supermarkets, what have you. Regular, going to the mall and all that. No, that's all shut. Yeah. Which is a huge difference from Florida at the moment. Florida's all wide open, of course. So.
That's crazy. And I mean, that's exactly how it is in Canada right now, especially where I am. Everything is just in lockdown, and we actually have like a controlled sort of curfew of 8 o'clock almost. So
yeah. I mean, I loved 1984 as a book. I didn't think it was a script.
I know, right? I know. It's so hard to cope with. And what's happening in Florida? Like, is it causing a major spike? Is it?
No, it's not doing anything at all. Before I came here, my sister-in-law said, "Hey, you want to go out? There's because my brother was off doing something. She says, you want to go up the coast? There's a biker bar. They've got a band playing." Well, oh yeah, great. So went up, and 300 people, no masks, no social distancing. Some weirdo bluegrassy band playing, and it was all bikers, and they were all hanging out. So it was all older people, and they've been doing this every week for months. And wow. It's not the only place that's been doing it too. And, the figures is the figures. They're treating it there like it was the flu.
Yeah.
If you're run down, if you're susceptible, you could get sick. Absolutely. But, you don't go... you don't do this. This is, I just don't get it.
I think that Britain and, Canada, we follow the worst case scenario and try and do as much as we can. Whereas I think America, sometimes there's so many places that will just,
well, certain states will just book whatever trend, and to a large degree, they're autonomous. They do what they want, Mm-hmm. So you've got California, which is apparently, I heard California is opening up tomorrow.
Wow. Wow.
Because of course there was an election last week, so now everything's wonderful and there's no more virus, you know.
Well, I don't
But
know.
yeah, I'll leave my tinfoil hat on the floor here.
Exactly. Well, I'm so glad that there's some hope, coming, that things are beginning to open up, because man, I miss playing. Um, are you guys working on any new music right now?
I'm always working on new music. I'm always writing and playing and recording. And we got all kinds of things going on. I'm trying to get the rights back to our early albums. And that's went through, cost a lot of money, and I'm waiting to hear from the attorneys. And if that comes off, we can start doing, like expanded,
That
almost box set type deals of our early albums and stuff, which would
well,
be awesome. So that's a
yeah,
fun project.
it's a great project, and I really want to talk to you about something after we're done this interview. Then,
Okay.
but I'm just I hear those stories from older bands. The record labels took their music, they were raped for their music, they'll never get that back, and it's such a horror story to me. It must be like the worst
Well, luckily
feeling in the
enough, they
world.
put a law. They put a law in the States where after 35 years, you can apply to get your copyright and your masters back.
Wow.
Which I was very lucky enough to find out about. So we jumped in with both feet and said, yeah, what we got to lose? We got an awful lot to gain if it comes off. So,
Yeah,
and,
definitely.
we've got a lot of stuff. We can be putting out an album a year for like the next, whatever.
Mhm.
We've got 14 studio albums and
Wow.
2 live
Yeah.
albums. And I'm looking into remixing a live album we did back in '95, which is another
Fun.
project. There's people that want to do vinyl stuff, so that's a possibility. But on top of that, new music. We have a lot of songs ready, and we're continuing to write, and we'll get serious about it soon, about like narrowing stuff down.
Mhm.
I'm waiting for our drummer Mike sending me some roughs that we did when we were in California about 18 months ago. I've got to
Mhm.
get that. And then there's another covers album we want to do. Like we did a party, we called it Party Killers back in like 5 years ago.
Mhm.
And people loved that. And it was
Mhm.
it was like a crowd-funded thing. And we'll probably do the same thing again, maybe make it a crowd-funded thing and make this exclusive. And we got some crazy songs we were doing roughs on again 18 months ago in California.
How
I'm looking
fun.
forward to narrowing that down and getting that together. And we're probably going to do, if we can get it together, a couple more videos for the new album, which should come out in September, Metal City.
Oh,
If we can
cool.
get that done, we'll do more videos because
Yeah.
nobody can tour right now. So let's do
Mhm.
some more videos. What the hell?
Are you having a lot of trouble just getting together as a group with all this?
Well, currently I'm in the UK, Mark's in Florida, and Mike's in Los Angeles. So yeah,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, nobody, it's a pain in the neck to go to Los Angeles, and they're probably going to put everyone under quarantine for 14 days if you fly
Mhm.
there, type of nonsense. So
Yeah. If you go
until
anywhere,
that's,
it seems to be the
yeah,
case. Yeah.
it's stupid. So we just have to, these are the cards we're dealt. We just have to
Mhm.
work around it and be
I mean, if
productive
they
and
were
do stuff.
able to test you coming into each place, even state to state, and you had no symptoms at all, you were not infected, you had no symptoms, I mean, 2 weeks of quarantine is a really difficult thing to have to
Well, it makes it
get around.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's like here they're advertising vacations on the TV big time because this is the time where they advertise them. Da da
Mhm.
da da da. It's like you can't go anywhere.
Right. Yeah.
90% of places they're advertising you can't go to
I
yet.
mean, you
So
could
they
stand
want you to
outside
book
and
in
take
advance,
pictures.
and if anything changes, we'll refund your money or we'll rebook. But we want you to book. They're harping on it big time, but you can't. If you want to go to, let's go to Spain and spend 2 weeks in quarantine. You might as well just stay home.
That's kind of, yeah, that's kind of how it is. But I guess those businesses need to try and stay open somehow, right?
Well, they're doing kind of what we done. I mean, we booked a tour for February on the off chance it was going to come off. It hasn't. We've kicked it back to, I think they're working for June, and
Mm-hmm.
see how that goes. And if that doesn't work, it gets kicked back again into September.
Mm-hmm.
So, at the end of the day, we lose a year. We use a full year.
Another
But,
year, yeah, yeah.
again, it's a level playing field. Nobody's touring. So,
No,
and everyone's hungry to play, and
yeah.
everyone's hungry to hear it. So when it does come together, it's going to be really cool. So
It's
we can
going to
just look forward
be.
to that.
I don't know if you remember SARS, the benefit we had in Toronto after the SARS like it was lasted a week or so, right? And then the Rolling Stones came and AC/DC, and it was all put on very quickly. And it was like 500,000 people,
Yeah,
whoever
it's
couldn't get
very
in was outside, right? It was fabulous. And I think that's going
very,
to
very
happen to all.
cathartic. It
Yeah.
lets people just release the tension and energy and frustration that's been going on.
It'll be the
But
most beautiful year in music history, I think, when it all comes back. I really do.
I think so. I mean,
Hmm.
the only good thing that's come out of it is a lot of people are being creative. They're all working on their craft and they're getting stuff together, and you
Hmm.
know,
Hmm.
so right.
I've only heard of a few people. I mean, now this is, going outside the people who deal with the depression and the anxiety already, but I've only heard of a few people say, I'm too depressed to even make music. Everybody else is just making as much as they possibly can or polishing up what they have, or, it's going to be so, so good. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're, if you're a musician, I mean, it comes from you being in a room by yourself with your instrument playing and entertaining yourself, or trying to better yourself and coming up with stuff.
You,
Everything else is gravy.
it's
Right now,
true.
there's no gravy, so we just have to build on our,
It's true. And
work on our chops, as they say.
for sure, for sure. You do those the daily videos almost of you just playing around, and I love that. I absolutely love that because when I first started, I just asked my friends, when I'm sick, would you just play? And they're like, "Oh, I don't have time." Oh, blah, blah, blah. I never really got that, right? It's so nice that people are home now and just have the time to just put up those videos because I think they're
Yeah,
awesome
it
for
was
fans.
just pure chance. I'd sent, it was a year ago, literally like 2 or 3 days ago, a year ago, I sent a video to my friend Tony Dolan,
Oh
who
yeah,
plays
he's
bass and
awesome.
sings with Venom Inc.
Yeah.
And I had a new bass and I played Happy Birthday to him on the bass. And then he said, "Wow, that's a cool bass." I says, "Yeah, hear what it can do." And I did some stuff. And he said, "You should put them up on Facebook."
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Well, I'm not
yeah.
doing anything else. Why not? And here we are, whatever, like 270 videos later, or
Exactly.
whatever it may be.
I mean, when I
Crazy.
first interviewed Lips and became friends, we started to do this idea for this show. You and Tony were two people that he mentioned would be awesome and that I should reach out to. And I'm so glad I did because it's just been a wonderful experience, right? And he speaks very highly of you. Tony did, I don't know if you got a chance to listen to it, redid or read a rewrite of "'Twas the Night Before Christmas" that I wrote, like a Krampus version of it, and
Oh,
he
I
just
I
killed
would
it.
love to hear that,
I
because
will send it to you. Yeah, he has
Tony
just
has the
got
most
one of the best
fractured
voice.
accent of all time. He's half Newcastle, half Geordie, and somehow he squeaks in the occasional West Country "oi" type of thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
What
yeah.
the hell?
I think it's
Sounds like he was.
Newfoundland is where Canada's most wonderful accents come from. And it's kind of like England, where city to city, they don't even understand each other, right? Where
Yeah,
would you say your accent comes from specifically?
right here,
Right?
Newcastle, Geordie.
Newcastle.
That's what they
Ah,
call the Geordie accent.
a Jody accent. Hmm.
Geordie man. Can do they need, like, with the lads, can't do the tuna, have a few bevies in, and somebody took to me, fuck it, kill you, fuck it. It's
That's
all like that.
fucking brilliant. Do people recognize it as that wherever you go?
Oh,
Or
yeah.
Yeah.
There's even a song about it. Wherever you go, you're sure to find a Geordie. Yep.
You should do a metal version of that.
Well, they're out there.
They're
Brian
out there.
Johnson.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Mark Knopfler.
Wow.
Dire Straits. Sting.
Wow. Really?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So what do you think it is about that area that produces such great musicians?
Something in the water, definitely. I don't know. The people are hardworking, stubborn, tenacious.
Mhm.
I mean, just look at us. We've been battling in the music business this will be our 47th year
Wow.
since we formed the band in 1974.
That's really commendable.
So, you know,
Yeah.
you ain't going to stop us now. Whistle
I guess
boom.
not, eh? I guess not. There's no stopping you. And I think that's some infectious energy to pass on to the young ones, because I think it's so hard now to break even a little bit.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that are easier these days, but it's never been easy to break. It's never been easy to really get yourself heard. The tools are easier to use now. I mean, you can make a record in your bedroom that sounds as good as just about anything else. You can do those things, and you can get it up on the internet. But there's so much of it. It's very hard to separate the wheat from the chaff. And I know people who work at metal magazines, and they get 300 CDs a month.
Yeah.
And this is how he reviews it. He puts it in and goes, well, that's a stupid intro. Next song, shite. Next. And then it gets whittled down to the 20 or 30 that they actually bother writing about.
Now, in fairness, if you were to be sent 300 CDs and you had, a few days to go through them, could you yourself think you could listen to a few seconds of it and see if it's quality or not? Or would you have to listen to, see?
Yeah,
so I think it's a skill you can acquire, but it's sad that, that could be the one song they choose could be not the one you want them to hear 10 seconds of, right?
Well, that's
And there
what
goes
comes
your chance,
into,
right?
obviously, you have to sequence your music. I mean, you don't necessarily have to put the best, but it's got to grab you. You've got to stand out from the crowd. If I put a metal CD and I hear like, I'm like, I've heard this so many times, it just makes me vomit. I don't want to hear that. Because it's, hey, we love Slayer. Yeah, Slayer did that 25, 30 years ago. Do something else.
Yeah.
Slayer were the best at that. Next, do something else. Be the best at what you do. So that kind of uniqueness, is hard to come by these days. It's hard. And you get people that go, everything's been done. Everything's been done. And it's not true.
It's not true, but I mean, it's very hard to be original, to have shock value. Like, I mean, people today have no attention span. They are almost like nothing shocks you. You know what I mean? Like horror movies have gone to a place where they've just gone so far and come back. There's nothing shocking left,
Yeah. Well, of course, you got to be smart. I mean, if you're going to make a horror film, you don't show what's going on. It's the thought in your head. Those kind of movies really mess with you, rather than, getting somebody's leg cut off in front of you. True. I mean, where do you go from there? That's just, useless.
I think too, with being able to make movies style videos a little bit easier now, like the quality of music videos are getting so good. They're almost like mini movies, right? You can put a lot into them with not as much money needed maybe sometimes, but I think that's a new way to go. And I really wish that, TV based shows would come back, like, MTV or Much Music, which is Canada's, right?
Yeah, there's, I mean, they have Kerrang, believe it or not, has a music channel here, but Kerrang is not what it used to be, of course. It's all these horrible poppy, emo-y type bands. And it's constant. It's all music, but it's just like, why couldn't it be good stuff?
We only
if it
got an
was-
hour of metal. I don't know if it was a week or a day or whatever, but it was called the Power Hour. So 23 hours of crap and 1 hour of decent music, right? But it was so worth watching every time.
And
right?
they did the same thing, of course, with MTV when they had Headbangers Ball and all this stuff. And then everyone just complained that their music wasn't being played. And, you know,
Again,
Eddie Trunk had that metal show and they all complained that he wasn't playing whatever. And, you know, it's a tough battle. I mean, this kind of music, whatever you want to call it, heavy metal, rock, whatever, was incredibly popular in the mid 80s, you know, and then the wheel turned and it's completely disappeared. And then it started, you know, the wheel has turned a little bit, but we're all still totally underground.
I think so.
But it's popular underground.
It's popular.
I mean,
there's such a following all around the world. I really think that they could definitely.
it is. I mean, we see that. We've played places we'd never been to in the last couple of years when we were out touring. I mean, China. Believe it or not, we were in China at the beginning of 2019. It was great. We went to Chile, we went to Ecuador, we went to Australia.
Wow.
And, you know, where things were like really different initially when we started back in the 80s. I mean, you could travel south down to London and the audiences would be very kind of standoffish and you would really have to work to get them going. Now it's like, it's the heavy metal audience and wherever you go, there's a level of craziness. You know, and there's certain places push the ante, like the Brazil, you know, the South Americans are all nuts. They love it, you know, they wear their hearts on the sleeve. They got that passion. But places like Japan, they're crazy. Wow, you know, they're so regimented and calm in regular life and they get to a show and they all go nuts. So, you know, it's all good for us.
I guess so. Yeah. Where was your favorite country to play?
At this point, anywhere. I play anywhere. It's, you know, we really just like getting out to play, whether it's, you know, a club or whether we get to play an opening slot or, you know, and get to play somewhere like a lot bigger. You tailor your set very slightly differently for these things. But we like the idea of getting out there and playing to a brand new audience who don't know who we are. It makes us work even harder and you get that connection. You get an honest reaction.
It's true. I bet. Yeah.
And we were doing that.
Where can you go where you're not recognized though?
This places, this audiences. I mean, we went out the last few years. 2017, we went out with Voodoo in Europe and we played a lot of countries we'd never been to before. We played Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, Finland, Norway, Sweden, Denmark. A couple of those places we played one gig before, but these were like, you know, 3 or 4 gigs or whatever in each country. And that was phenomenal. Poland, phenomenal. Wow. Slovakia, and, you know, and when you come to a few times, like now we play in Paris, it's like amazing for us. There's such an awesome audience. It's really great. And, you know, it's annoying having this break because you build. Next time you come back, there's more people. Everyone you see bought the T-shirts from last time and they're totally into it. So that helps us big time. We can go out and headline and do decent, but if you play with somebody else's audience, a lot of them won't know who you are. And that's your opportunity to make a real dent in the head.
Yeah. Do you think that you're making headway with the younger generation? Like that must feel really, really good.
There's like 3 generations of fans. There's the people who saw us the first time, there's their kids, and now there's their kids. You know?
So that officially makes you legends.
South America, there's rarely anyone over 30-year-old at the shows. They're all young kids. It's crazy.
Oh, that's awesome.
And they're so knowledgeable. They know all the stuff. they know all the lyrics. They can't speak English and they know all the lyrics. It's
That
crazy.
must be so touching to the heart, you know, that somebody would
Yeah.
take the time to go through it, even in another language. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That's incredible. Do you get that kind of response when you come back home? Do you find?
Uh, yeah, I mean, we played here. When was it? We played a whole bunch of warm up dates before we went out with Saxon in
Mm.
2018. And it's strange in England at the moment. There's like big venues and very small venues, and some of them were good, some of them weren't so good,
Hmm.
to be honest. But London was awesome. Newcastle was awesome. We had a great time in Sheffield, I believe it was. And one or two others were like, they should have dropped the bomb years ago. But that's the way that goes. You know, it's especially in England at the moment. There's a large amount of cover bands playing small venues and clubs.
Yeah, I'm
All
noticing that
all
here
cover
in
bands.
Ontario, all cover bands, and
And it's
I'm
cover or tribute, you know, where
mm,
they actually go the whole hog with the hairpiece and the makeup and the clothing and
mm.
hey, you know, I'm Freddie Mercury or whatever, you
It's
know,
like, no,
and
you're not. No, you're not.
you know, and I mean, I can see that with bands who aren't around. Why not? I mean, there's a wonderful Genesis tribute band from Canada called, I think, the Musical Box, who do all the old Peter Gabriel stuff with all the costumes and all, and that's awesome. That's great. But I mean, like, say, you know, you want to see a Metallica cover band? No, the real thing's still out there, so I'd rather see the real thing.
You
And these
know,
guys charge a lot of money.
they
It's
do.
crazy.
And I've been talking to local venues as to why are we doing so many tribute bands? I've got so many great bands for you. And they're like, well, it's drink sales. It's if we get a tribute band in, everybody knows the songs, they drink more, they buy more, you know, they dance more. And then if we get a local band in and nobody knows the music, even as good as it is, they just don't buy as much alcohol. I'm like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, that's sad.
So that's tough for new bands. It's
Mm,
definitely
mm.
tough, you know.
And I can
So
understand the cost of rent or overhead in some of these huge clubs here, right? It's got to be,
yeah, but I mean, the amount of money they make off drink anyway. It's and
yeah,
then they do that thing where they make the bands pay to
pay
play,
to
where they have to
play.
buy the tickets and sell the tickets, and
That's
that's horrifying.
I
I'm
really
really
hope
happy we never did that, you know.
you've kind of climbed that ladder and you're above that, yeah, for sure. But it's a disgusting practice. I really hope that maybe COVID just overturns the whole industry into thinking about new ways of doing things. You know,
Yeah, well, hopefully, you know, people you don't know what you got that's gone type of deal, you know.
hmm.
Live music's not there, and hopefully there'll be a huge groundswell of audience to go and see everybody, you
Yeah,
know,
I think
because
so.
you know I'd rather see a okay original act than see someone just, you know, Xerox another band's performance.
I agree with that. I agree with that
That's, yeah,
wholeheartedly. Yep, yep. And
I mean,
it's part of what Rock Metal Talk really does. You know, we really try to support the local bands as much as we can. You know,
yeah.
and I think Canada. It's so hard. I don't know what it is to break from Canada into the U.S. Just extra, extra hard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know,
So
that was, and that was always the thing was in order to break. And you look back, and it's the people who really worked at it, who really believed in themselves, and really just did that donkey work, you know, the grind, and made it happen.
I think
And
the
now you're surrounded with mediocrity and lots of it, and it's very hard sometimes to get your voice heard over that.
It's true. It's so true. I think that the whole international visa thing, I mean, if you were going to America to work for a whole year, maybe $10,000 would be fair. But if you're going down to do one tour or one, $10,000 or more per person is why a lot of Canadian bands don't get pulled to America. You know what
Is
I
that how
mean?
much it is?
Yeah.
Oh God,
Yeah. Per
I know it's
person in the
very
band.
expensive
per
European
employee,
musicians to
your
go.
tour manager, your equipment guy, your sound guy, everybody. So why would they do that if they can just call up a band down the street?
It's
Right?
crazy.
So
Crazy.
and Canada is not supporting its metal artists as much as it should be, And I think that needs to change so that people can freely, sure, yeah, pay something, right? But not that much.
No, it's true. And there's a whole. I mean, I know that there's a lot of English bands. It's a lot of red tape and a lot of money to come to America.
Yeah.
And it basically, well, you get your visa. It could take 3 months. It's like, well, but you can do the expedited one where you can pay double.
Exactly, triple,
And you'll
quadruple,
save
whatever.
a month or some crap like that. And quite often, oh, sorry, not doing it. And you've already paid the money, you can't get it back. And it's like, what?
Yeah.
So if that's happened with few people, but
so that makes it extra hard to climb the ladder. And unfortunately, America is really a great market to be in.
Well, it is the market. It's gigantic.
It is very gigantic, yeah.
There's still states in America we've never played after touring there for the best part of 35 years.
Wow. Like where?
We've never played Mississippi. We've never played Alaska. We've never played Alabama. And
I want to go to Mississippi and Alabama.
Never played Wyoming. Never played South Dakota. Never played North Dakota. Wow. Still haven't played Idaho. But we've played pretty much everywhere else. And, we do a big run. Our run usually starts in Florida, works its way up through Texas, California, up to Vancouver, back
and
down.
When I was looking at, how to do it, right? That is the loop or the other way, and you miss a lot of stuff. But really, I've also driven right through all that stuff, and you're not missing much. You know what I mean? Podunk towns, you know what I mean? But they're fun too, I'm sure. Right?
Well, yeah. I mean, that's the places, you want to get to, because those places will remember you. They really will. They will remember you. It's always a little trendier in the bigger towns. It's like here today, gone later today.
Exactly. Whatever reason it is, too. I find small, more challenged, impoverished places breed the best little musicians and the diehard fans, going down through, West Virginia, Ohio, the poorer parts down through the South or whatever. I just found so many talented musicians, diehard fans with just nowhere to play and nothing to do. Right?
So, which is why back in the day, so many of them just loaded up and said, I'm going to LA or I'm going to New York and try and make it work, And where we were, it was go to London. And we were like, it was always the joke was get in a van and go down to London. And by absolute chance, a record company started in our hometown called Neat Records. And they put a single out by one of the other bands in the area, the Tigers of Pantang, and it got really well received. And then the guy came up to us and said, do you want to do a single? And that changed everything. Because we might as well have been in, Newfoundland. Because England's small, but 250 miles from London might as well be on Mars. It really is the way they think. And the record companies, there was no way A&R people were going to travel up to these far off crazy lands full of barbarians. They were never going to do that, So we kind of beat the system in a strange way by doing that, So we were playing working men's clubs, and 3 months later we're opening for Iron Maiden and Ozzy Osbourne and Whitesnake and Motorhead and all that.
Wow, that must have been such a trip.
Well, it's just off you go.
How did you handle that? Like going from, country bumpkin metalhead kid to like playing with people like that. How did you handle that?
Well, there wasn't that much to handle. We just kept our feet on the ground and did
You
what
just
we
did
did.
it.
I mean, we weren't. I still don't drink. Mark and Rob at the time, Rob was our drummer at the time. I mean, they both like to go, they like to have a few bevies here and there. But, there was no drugs. There was nothing crazy like that. We were motivated and very, very determined.
Wow.
So, we watched, we learned, we listened, we took it all in. And we've done that to the bands who open for us. We share the wealth, we share whatever knowledge. People ask us questions, we tell them what's going on, and we try to take on good opening bands. We always have.
I hear sometimes, great bands, they don't get to pick their under bands. It's whoever
Sometimes they don't.
paid onto the tour or whatever. And I'm just thinking, because
Yeah.
you think that people put their thought into who's opening for them, and it's all a package, and that whatever. I was very shocked to learn that it wasn't quite like that. So that's really cool.
No, well, a lot of bands will, they want to travel at a certain level, so they want to have the posh tour bus, and God forbid they tune a guitar themselves, so they want to have a couple of roadies each, and the Indian carpet that comes out on stage before they play, and all that good stuff, and all that stuff costs money. And it's far more money than they're going to get playing the gig. So it's like, oh, well, if we get some young, rich band, maybe they've got a backer or they've got a rich father, and you can play with us for 20 grand. Boom. Then all their bills are paid.
Yeah.
Or you guys can come on the bus, but it's going to cost you 10, 15, 20, 30, whatever, And there's people
it's
who
not
will do
always
that.
like that. I'm sure it's bands scrimping and saving and coming up with their part to go on. I'm sure that that's part of it.
No, well, obviously nobody, there's not a lot of bands can afford that, but there are always some. And of course, whether that meshes with them being a great band or not, not always at all.
Yeah,
It's just like little Johnny's got a rock band and let's kick some money in to help him,
Wow. I'm learning the background industry and the dark side of it and all the horrible parts of it that, I really wish I could do something about, but I really can't. You know what I mean? I watch people struggle in it, and there's not much I can do.
It's difficult, but this band's out there. I mean, we played a festival with Saxon back in 2016, and our buttonhole Biff. Now, so you got opening for you on your next tour. He goes, oh, such and such. You need us. We're better than them. You need us. Well, that would be great. It's just seriously, think about it. Here's my number. Here's my stuff. Keep in touch. And to his credit, the next time around, can you guys do this? And there was it wasn't quite enough money for us to come over and do all the stuff, and it wasn't going to work. We said, well, maybe next time. And next time came around, and we did it, and it worked out great.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So,
I think
so they know because we did exactly what they did. They played the same working men's clubs we played, 5 and 6 years earlier. Then we were trading names of booking agents, the same guys, the same clubs.
I hear people getting very discouraged after 5 or 10 years, and it's such a credit to hear, we've been doing this 30, 40 years, right? Like never give up, right? Never stop doing it.
Well, it's not so much the destination as it is the journey.
Right.
It really isn't. It's about, we love the music. I love to play. I love to play and jump around like an idiot on stage with my brother. It's one of the great joys of my life. And create new music and make people happy. And, if you can do all that and get money into it to keep it going, that's awesome. Then you're winning. You're winning. If you're going into this as a marketing campaign to try and, we're going to have our key point indicators to sell 10% more next week and and you're going to be selling, you might as well be selling baked beans, or, go make rap music and sell talk about your WAP or whatever, you know. It's a totally different mindset. That
I think
we
so.
come from more of a, you know, it's cliched, but it's more the artist type thing, you know. We create and we go out and we do it, and we stand or fall on what we do.
So what if tomorrow you couldn't do this anymore and you had to do something else? What would you do?
I would be a stunt gynecologist.
Yeah, that's the best answer ever. I don't even know how to know what that would entail. That's kind of I'm getting Cirque du Soleil mixed with your
Yeah.
kind of
A lot of spelunking, I think.
Spelunking. Oh goodness. Wow. Well, thank you so much for doing this. I think we're going to be running out of time in about 2 minutes. So, is there anything else you wanted to say?
No, just if anyone out there hasn't heard our new record, Metal City, go check it out. Best thing we've ever done. And don't take my word for it, read the reviews. It's out there. And hopefully when all this nonsense is over, we'll be out on the road.
Yes, and I so look forward to seeing you again. And thank you so much. Everything's been a pleasure. All right. Take it easy, brother. Be safe.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks so much to Jonathan Price, of course, to Jay Stone at Rockn Talk, always and forever, and of course to RFL Records. My listeners, and I really hope you guys help us spread this as far as we can. So much work goes into these. They're a lot of fun, but we need your support. So thanks again to Rockn Talk and to everybody out there. You've been listening to the Pop Pixie on Rockn Talk. Thanks, everybody. Bye for now. Keep safe.